game plan. Our game plan for today, you're going to say, all right, Sharran, what are you going to cover? I'm interested in a lot of interesting things. What are you going to cover overall? I'm going to cover 4 interesting things with you. Number 1, I'm going to cover why. Why is any of this even relevant? Mainly, like, why is this relevant right now? Meaning, what is the culture behind it? What are the values associated with it? Because at the end of the day, if you don't actually belong to something powerful, it doesn't really matter how the business works. So that I'm going to cover the whole part of the why. Then I'm going to give you the what. And you may say, all right, Sharran, the why is interesting. I can make money anywhere. I just want to know the business model. I want to know how I can make more money at Real. I want to know all the pieces. So I'm going to give you the business model. And I'm actually going to give you real numbers because we are extremely transparent in everything that we share. I'm going to give you the real numbers. Third, you may say, well, Sharran, I don't care about the why. I don't care about the what. I'm an operator. I'm a driver analytical. And I want to make sure I understand how deals work at Real. I want to understand how tech work at Real. I want to understand how systems work at Real. And I'm going to share that with you because, of course, I'm not going to be able to go into everything, but I'll give you a good high-level view of all of this. All right. And here's the fourth part. I'm going to give you the 4th part. Sorry, that was supposed to be a star. That's a star. It's a better star. I'm going to give you 2 other things. One, we had some amazing news that we launched this week that I want to tell you about. And I want to tell you about our 2023 plans and initiatives and how we've already started knocking things off of that. So you know what it is that we can expect overall. All right. This is super important. So if this agenda feels pretty good, essentially, I'm going to run through this and then you ask questions. I'll save the last part of it for Q&A for a little bit. But if this agenda looks pretty good, can you just give me a 1 in the chat? Just give me a 1 in the chat. Like, hey, agenda looks pretty good. Awesome. Sure. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. That's great. Man, I have so many friends on the call today. I appreciate you guys so much for being with us and spending time with us. This is super cool. All right, let me fly through and give you more of what it takes. So you may be thinking, hey man, who are you? Who are you? You're wearing a t-shirt, you have a jacket on. That's kind of strange. Like, why should I listen to you? Like, what's your jam in all of this? So let me give you a 10-second background. Hey, my name is Sharran. I'm super excited to be with you. I have a little bit of an interesting background. In the last 20 years, I've had 5 exits. That means sold 5 businesses in the last 20 years. And I'm super grateful for that. Let me give you the differences in overall experience. Technology. So we built a technology company and I got to sell that during the boom. And then I was in the hospitality world. I actually got 4 seasons in Ritz-Carlton training in Hawaii and in the Caribbean, which I thought was very cool. So I understood that world. I was an investment banker with Goldman Sachs and Credit Suisse in New York City. So I'm I understand the Wall Street world and structuring deals and financing deals. I've run a venture and private equity fund. So I've invested in companies. There are probably several of the technology companies that you know in the real estate space right now. I've had a chance to invest in them, so I know their operators really, really well, which is cool. I run a multifamily fund. So I've been investing in multifamily properties for the last 7-8 years. And last year we bought 1,000 doors, and this year we're going to buy another 1,000 doors. So going through that process is pretty exciting. But most importantly, you're like, well, the real estate experience. I built and grew a real estate business called Tells Properties. We took it from 1 office and 33 agents to 22 offices and over 700 agents in a span of 5 years. We did 10x in 5 years, and we sold it to Douglas Elliman. And I love the real estate business so much because I love the craft of the business. I love what you do day to day. I was actually in a listing appointment on Monday, 2 days ago, for a $4.5 million listing right here in Orange County. So if you want to talk about actually being on the ground with you, like I'm in the living room today, right? As the president of a company, like I am in the living room helping our agents win more business today, right? So when someone says, hey, Jimmy said he'd do it for 2%, I'm 96 objections deep, right? Most of the scripts, objections, et cetera, that a lot of coaches use are mine, which is totally fine because I want you to have great success with all of those, right? So that background hopefully gives you a sense of all of this. I want to give you, all right, you couldn't see it, no problem. So here's what I'll do. You like it? Thought you guys are commenting on my sport code. You guys are very kind. All right, no worries at all. Let's jump into our stuff. All right, so I'll give you the big real story. I think this will be good overall. So right now we are in 45 states, and we're in 45 states and 3 Canadian provinces, which is really cool. We just opened Alabama, and we only have 5 states left. By the way, if you are in one of these states, I would really appreciate if you messaged me now. West Virginia, Delaware, Nebraska, South Dakota, or Vermont. Say it again. West Virginia, Delaware, Nebraska, South Dakota, or Vermont. If you're in one of those states, you have to message me, right? Because it is my goal to get all 50 done this year. So those 5 are on my plan overall. We got some South Dakota. We got everybody, like, so cool, which is so cool. My partner Sheila Dunnigan's on. She's fantastic, and she and I are on a mission to get all 50 states done this year. Let me give you some super high level stats, and then I'll get into something that's really important to you. So we're in 45 states right now, 3 provinces. We have over 8,000 agents, and we are the fastest growing publicly traded real estate brokerage in the world, which is very cool. We did a ton of transactions last year, and most importantly, we are listed on both NASDAQ and on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Please let me explain what that means. So a lot of times people will ask us, hey, Sharran, are you raising money, and what is your exit? If you exit, do I lose my stock? All of that. That has all been taken off the table for you. We made it really easy. We're already publicly traded, right? Which means that you currently instantly have access to liquidity. You can go buy our shares on the stock exchange, and all the stock awards that you get are all based on that. So no exit. Our goal is to provide the liquidity for you and grow. So it's not like you don't have to beef up and get venture money to actually have an exit. We're already public, and our entire focus is to help you grow and grow the business overall. So wanted to make sure that you saw that. So the real ethos is broken up into 2 things, and I told you why this was important. There's 2 big pieces to the puzzle. There is you, the agent. You are our client. You are our client, and we do whatever it takes to support you. Additionally, you are also our partner, because we offer revenue share, stock, and other benefits that allows you to be our partner. When you have these 2 pieces together, it provides for a really powerful partnership overall. And I think this partnership, which my entire presentation is based on these 3 things, allows us to have 3 things at play. It allows us to collaborate without worrying about silos or anything like that. Second, it allows us to grow because you are our partners in growth. And third, it allows us to perform, because if you don't do well as our client, then we don't do well either. Everything that we do is based on how do we collaborate better, how do we grow together, how do we perform better. And that's the ethos of how everything works. And you may say, all right, Sharran, blah, blah, blah. That's really interesting. Take me to brass tacks. Explain exactly what all of that means. So I promised you I will start with the culture, and then I'll go into the model. So let's go into the culture first. You're going to hear this one word a lot at Real, and this is just our way of talking about the world, which is we talk about one Real. We talk about one Real. Everything that we do is based on us having one big, strong network, one big, strong community, one big, strong family. The one Real part of our culture is extremely important, because I will tell you, it's governed by a code of conduct. We don't want people randomly blasting out text messages to recruit others, not for any other reason. It's just not who we are. We just don't want that, because it is a part of one Real. We also want to make sure there is a work hard, be kind culture, because the last thing you want is to be at odds with another person at the firm. You don't want that. One Real. Everything that we do, we ask from this filter of, hey, is this from the perspective of one Real? One Real is something that is what drives our culture. And very simply, if it's not one Real, it's probably not a good fit for us. All right. Here's number 2, which is our leadership. You will not find a more committed, kind leadership structure, leadership group in anywhere in North America for this one reason. I'm not saying we're better or worse, not at all. I'm just saying we work hard and be kind. I'll give you an example. When one of our agents wanted me to go on a listing appointment with them, they just sent me a message and I went on the listing appointment with them. Like, That's it. They don't have to go through 19 different structures. They don't have to schedule an appointment. Our job is to be here in service of you. So our leadership is very flat and directly accessible to you, because we believe that if we're not available for you, how do we win? Our entire support system is built on the fact that if the leadership can't be available for you to help you grow your business, it just doesn't work, right? Like, I will tell you, how cool was it? I'm not cool, but it was interesting to see the seller's expression when the leader of the business actually was there in his and her living room, right? It gives us an insane advantage to do things like that. Leadership is really powerful. And the last but not least, I think that everybody wants a support system. And we think about the support system in three ways. Way number one is there is a very great relationship that we call a sponsor, someone that actually says, hey, Sharran, I'd love for you to come to Real. I'd love to be your sponsor because I want to be the support system for you, right? That's really, really powerful. Second, we have an amazing broker network team that supports you on a state-by-state level. All our brokers are CEOs of their states. In each state, we work for our brokers. It's a really good thing. That's how the states are set up. So the brokers support you in this process overall. And the third is the entire One Real community, right? It is our staff, our people, our leadership that do that. When we have these three pieces working together, that's when culture really, really fires up. And everything is built on this concept of One Real. Now I'm going to get into the business model mechanics, but let me run you through this. Our Real Academy, where all our trainings happen. You may have seen this at different, hey, Sharran's mastermind group is doing this amazing mastermind group thing, and it's not available. Even though I'm in the same company, I don't have access to it. Why? We are One Real. Everything that we do is available to everybody in the company. Every training that is done is available to everybody because we want everybody to win together. That is the power of One Real. That is governed by an insane code of conduct that allows us to all be connected and focused together on each other. That also helps us understand that it's servant attraction, meaning it's not recruiting, putting your head in a headlock and say, come join us. It is, hey, what is the best for you? And is this model sync with what you actually want to do? You have your leadership is just partners in this entire puzzle because we want to break down all silos, not just economically, but also culturally, which is the power of One Real. Now, I started with this because I will tell you, if you and I are not aligned on this, you will ask if you're a real agent on the call and you agree and believe in what I say, could you just give me a me in the chat? Just give me a me in the chat, right? Because I just want everyone to feel the power of what you feel overall. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Being here is super powerful. Thank you. Right. So let me give you part two of the puzzle. Part two of the puzzle is this. Part two of the puzzle. You may say, all right, Sharran, that's cool. That was a little fluffy. Let me give you the details around this. I'm going to give you the model. Right? The model has three parts to this puzzle. And so if you want to know exactly how our model works, I'm going to give you full clarity around it. There are three parts to this puzzle on the model. There is a build component, there is a grow component, and there is a legacy component. And please let me explain. The build is allowing you to build a great business to make more money. Right? And you want to have a transparent business to be able to, I'm going to take you through exactly the pieces of the puzzle to do that. The grow component is how you actually grow with us as a partner in the company. And this is our stock and how we actually support you by giving you awards to make you a partner in our stock. The third, the legacy component is this. The legacy component is how can we actually create a great company today so that the company can take care of your family tomorrow? That is two big components. That is revenue share as well as a willable component, and I'll talk through them. So let's actually give you the basics of all of this. I want to talk to you about building with Real. You may say, all right, Sharran, give me the mechanics, give me all of it, because I ran a business. I ran a traditional brokerage. That we had special deals. Sharran had a different deal. Jody had a different deal. Jimmy had a different deal. I'd be like, shh, Jody, don't tell anybody. Shh, TJ, don't tell anybody. Like super difficult to manage. And I felt completely out of sync. It's really difficult to do that on a day-to-day basis, right? It's not good or bad. It's just how it is. How you build with Real is we want to just tell you everything. So let me tell you how our stuff works. As you think about it in a very high level, don't worry about the details. Let me just give you the high points, right? For an individual agent, we have a mix of individual agents. We have a mix of teams, And we also have a lot of agents that are either part-time or referral agents. This is not a big part of our business, but several people, we have a small contingent that are part of that because they want to use that. Maybe they're investors and they want to flip homes, whatever, and they do the right disclosures. But we're not a team-only brokerage or an individual-only brokerage. It is, if you like the model and you like the culture and you like the platform, this would be a great win for you overall. All right. So our very simply is we have an 85-15 split. There are no monthly fees and until you hit a 12,000 annual cap. If you get the 12,000 annual cap, after that, there are no more fees due from a commission-based stuff, and it just goes into a per transaction minimum fee that allows us to process transactions. Again, take a second on the details. We'll send you all the details around. I just want to give you a high level around. It's the 85-15 until you hit the 12,000 annual cap. There are no monthly fees. We are a production-based company, so unless you produce, we don't actually get anything. So we're partners in performance. Now the question becomes, hey, what happens in the next place, which is, what about if I have a team? Well, if you have a team, team models, especially team with lead gen models, are really good for this, because now the team leader, whoa, that's fine. The team leader gets to be on the 12K cap, but you have an option for the team member to be on what we call a half cap, which is a 6K. So same exact thing until they hit a 6K as a team member, they can have the same cap and all the benefits overall, which is really, really powerful. Right? So similar exact thing, very simple model. Again, no monthly fees, no monthly fees, and the 85-15 split. The details of all of this stuff, again, but just wanted you to know the high points on these two things. When you have these two in place, it helps you run a transparent business overall. All right. Let me give you the next part, which is the grow component. I talked about build, grow, and legacy. Let me talk about the grow component. The grow component is that we have a chance where you get to buy real stock, if you would like, as part of your commission paid out. And I'll tell you why this is mind-blowingly amazing, right? So let's say you make $100 in commission and you choose before you cap that you can put up to 5% of your commission. So you've made $100 in commission and you choose to put $5 out of it towards buying stock. Here's what Real does. It buys that $5 of stock for you, and Real provides you 15% of that stock in bonus. So you don't have to do anything. We just gift you more. We award you more stock for actually going through this plan and becoming partners with us. This is, I hopefully you and I get a chance to spend some one-on-one time together, but I can show you how, if you just did this alone, you will make so much money in the years to come because you get free stock that Real buys for you, right? Second, after you cap, you can put more towards it, which is 10% of your commission. And then as you do that, Real bonuses you 30% of whatever you put in. So we get to actually pay out to you. We get to buy more stock for you because you're in a partnership plan with us. Really powerful because we get to be partners together, not just clients, but also partners together. Okay. This is one of my favorite things about Real, where not only do you get stock where you purchase it, you also get several awards. So just for doing your job and capping, you get a capping award. So let's say Sheila is selling real estate in Texas. She does 9 transactions and she caps. As soon as she caps, she not only goes to a 100% commission split, she also gets 250 capping shares. If the presentation is a little blurry, I'll go in and out, so it makes it better. All right. So give me a second here. Thank you for that, folks. Appreciate that. All right. We have 12,000 capping shares. The other part of this is also, we'll talk about attracting in a second. Let's say Sheila attracts Sharran and Sharran closes his first deal. Sheila also gets a one-time bonus for attracting. It is our way of saying thank you for helping us grow this business. We're also giving you shares to attract, right? Super cool. Good. All right. So that is the attracting and capping awards. There was a good question here. Hey, the question is, hey, what happens after 10,000 agents? I'll explain that in a second. The number of shares awarded change based on the agent count because there is a pool of shares. And so the goal is, as the agent count increases, the company grows. As the company grows, the stock price grows. As the stock price grows, the share number is managed. So net, you will still get the same result, but you may get a different number of shares configuration. That's it. Okay, good question. I want to talk to you about elite agent awards. You don't have to figure out all of these pieces, but I want to give you two quick things. After you've capped, there's a second bonus, and this is where it's going to get really interesting. The second bonus is there's a fee on a per transaction, which because you go to 100% split, and if you hit 6,000 in fees, or you do GCI over 500,000, Real automatically gives you a $16,000 performance award. $16,000 in performance, right? So literally, if you just do this, you automatically get $16,000 in stock. That is our way of saying, hey, thank you for producing. Thank you for being a great partner. Here's more stock for you. But that's not all. There's even more ways to make stock, which is if you teach monthly in the Real Academy, or you have a philanthropic position in your community and you give back to your community, which has to be pre-approved by Real, you get what we call a $8,000 in stock of a cultural award. So if you just show up and teach once a month and pour your heart out in the community, or you give back to your local community because Real is not there day to day, we give you another cultural award overall. Okay. So as far as stock and vesting, et cetera, goes, all our restricted stock units have a 3-year vesting period. And so if you leave sometime before that, you just lose your unvested portion of the stock. Very simple. Good. Awesome. Thank you. I'm keeping it at the high level. Let me talk about legacy for a second. Okay. Legacy at Real. The legacy at Real is a big part of this is understanding revenue share. Now, I'm going to not just explain revenue share to you. I'm actually going to show you how it works. And in one diagram, and you'll be like, oh, cool, Sharran, I'm so glad you did that. Very, very simple. There's only 2 components to revenue share. Real makes money as a split of company dollar, right? Real makes money as a split of company dollar. So if there's a $10,000 transaction, let's say there's a $10,000 transaction, say the agent makes $8,500 and Real makes $1,500. That $1,500 is now eligible for revenue share. Okay. This is a lot of people talk about multi-level marketing. How can you sustain all of this? Revenue share is based on math. We take the $1,500 of company dollar and we get to pay it back out in revenue share. Please let me explain this one concept. Last year in 2022, we paid out close to 56% of our company dollar in revenue share to our agents. So whatever we collected in company dollar from our agents as part of the split, we paid out 56% of that back to our agents in revenue share. And we expect to continue doing that in the years to come. Okay. So you only need to know 2 things about this. Revenue share only happens when Real gets revenue, right? So having a producing agent that you attract is a good thing. So there's 2 components to this. I'll take you through it. There's something that we call tier 1 agents. A tier 1 is a person that you attract to the company. So Sharran attracts Sheila. Tier 1 is Sharran attracting Sheila. So if you have up to 9 people in your tier 1, you unlock tier 1. If you have 10 to 14 people in your tier 1, you unlock tier 2. If you have 15 to 19 people in your tier 1, you unlock tier 3. If you have 20 to 24 people in your tier 1, you unlock tier 4. And you have over 25 people in your tier 1, you unlock all 5 tiers. That's all this is, right? So the key part of this is to just know that the most important thing is to make sure if you have more than 25 people in your tier 1, you unlock all tiers. Right. By the way, there's no special deals or anything around this stuff. This is same for everybody on everything, right? Based on how you unlock tiers is how you get paid. Super, super simple. There's a good question. Jody says that the stock has not grown in 4 years. What is going to break this flat performance and investing? So let me explain that for a second. So we're not going to be able to tell you, hey, like we don't speculate on this, but as the company grows, you should see growth in your equity position. Based on the macroeconomic environment right now, 2 things are at play. Number 1, because of the macroeconomic kind of adjusting market, growth stocks as a whole have been hammered. Call it Google, Apple, Netflix, Real, whatever. Growth stocks have been hammered because we are in a shifting market time. Second, because of the shifting market time and the increase in interest rates, real estate stocks have been hammered. So what we're seeing is a double whammy on that, which makes now getting in an amazing entry point because we're very fortunate to be growing even in a time like this. So can we speculate about what the stock will be tomorrow? I'm sorry, I can't do that, but I'll be very honest with you. You can go look it up. All our executives and my comp is tied to us growing the business, and the metric for growing the business is the stock. All right. So just being honest about it. Cool. So This is going to be the most fun slide for all of you. So I'm actually going to explain revenue share in a math perspective in 1 minute. So here's how this works. So please pay attention if you are not paying attention so far, because this is going to be a pop quiz later. Just joking. Okay, so let's say there was a GCI of $10,000. Okay, and on this GCI of $10,000, let's say $8,500 goes to the agent. So it goes to Travis, the agent, $8,500. There's $1,500 left, which is Real's company dollar until we hit the cap. So I'm just using the $1,500 as an example. All right. So Fiona, the agent right now, closes a deal, and this is the deal. So there's $1,500 to play with. All right. How does this get split up? This is tier 1. This is tier 2. This is tier 3. This is tier 4. This is tier 5. Okay. Remember I said, so it's 5% of GCI on tier 1. So this 5%, this is going to be $500. So Elaine, as soon as Fiona closes the deal, as soon as the deal closes and the monies are settled, Elaine gets $500, right? Dorothy gets $400. Claire gets $300. Bonnie gets $200, and Amber gets $100. As soon as Fiona closes the deal, as this deal is settled, we accumulate this and pay it out once a month. Imagine now you start having 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 60, 80, 100, 200, 2,000 people in your network. This is happening constantly, right? So the crazy part here is, like, I will tell you the truth about math. This $1,500 is all that Real collected. And when all 5 levels are built up, this $1,500 is completely paid out, right? And it's totally cool because we use that $1,500 to pay revenue share to everybody. And now not all tiers have 5 tiers. So whenever there's not 5 tiers left, it makes sure that the math works overall. This is not a multi-level, like we're making it happen. Everything is based on revenue collected and revenue distributed. It's very simple from a math perspective. That's why we have the 5 tiers and how this works. So if this works overall and you understand this and you're like, cool, I conceptually get it. I need to dig more into it. This is Real 101. If this makes sense and works overall, can you give me a 1 in the chat if this makes sense and works overall? Very cool. Thank you so much. Cool. Awesome. I got a note that said no one has actually drawn this out for me before. I'm so glad. Thank you guys so much. I'm so glad that I was able to draw this out for you, right? So at least you understand. Cool. Let's go to the next one. This is, I had to get permission to share this with you. This is an actual revenue share breakdown of somebody in 2022. So this is a 2022 revenue share payout. This person has been at Real less than 18 months as of 1/1/2023, just so you know. And several of my partners don't like me sharing this stuff because it's like throwing money in your face, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I want to give you, what is possible. This person that you're seeing here, their revenue share, this is not the highest at Real. In fact, it is the middle of the pack. This is not the highest at Real. I just want you to start to believe and see that if you are able to plug into the model and do what you naturally do, powerful things start to happen, right? This is $125,000 a month. This is $125,000 a month, right? This is really powerful. So this person went from 25K a month to 120,000 a month. So roughly this person is making $80,000 a month in passive revenue share, right? How many, this is a good question. How many people did this person have in their tree? Roughly 1,100 people in their network. But I'm going to make that even easier where you can make more going forward. But I just wanted you to see what was possible. Okay. Now, this is not in one level. This isn't across their whole organization. But they were able to do this in under 18 months. And I will tell you, many of you are significantly more talented than this person. I love this person a lot, but I wanted you to see what was possible. Okay. I want to go back to this again for 1 second. We want to build a great company today so that our company can take care of your family tomorrow. There was a great question in the chat which talked about how many agents are actually collecting revenue share right now. So these are public numbers, and let me share those with you. On average, we have roughly 8,300 agents at Real right now, and about 1,300 of them are actually participating in revenue share because they choose to. You don't have to do it. If you'd like to, great. If you don't like to, don't worry about it. We just want to make sure you have options as and when you would like to take advantage of it. That's all. But I'll give you some ideas on how to take advantage of those options in just a second, right? All of this is Real 101, just giving you some high-level pictures. And let me tell you why. If you are talking to a real agent, that way you can say, hey, Sharran talked about this revenue share component, and he's talked about this. Could you go deeper into that for me? Sharran talked about like getting an award for giving back in your community. Can you break that down for me? Hey, Sharran talked about how my team can get a 12K cap and a 6K cap for my team members. That'll help them hit their milestones faster. That'll help me do a 50-50 split with them on my leads faster. Can you talk to me about that? The reason I'm sharing these high points with you is so that when you do talk to me or someone else at Real about your specific situation, one of those ideas may click in and you can ask about that. Right? It's very hard to go through each one of these pieces. I just wanted to give you the high level so you can actually ask the specific questions. Cool. All right. I wanted to do this for you. I thought this would be really interesting. So this is just a fun exercise. And I want to show you how we can at Real, if you do this right, most agents will get paid to work with Real. Most agents will get paid to partner with Real. So let's say you did your 12,000 cap, right? By the way, is it okay if I just talk money and it's okay, right? Can I just give me an okay if it's like, hey, cool, you can talk about money, talk about caps, it doesn't freak us out. Is it cool overall? Okay, cool, awesome. All right, thank you. I just want to make sure we're good. I want to make sure the more I share with you, the more you understand it, because I'm being really transparent, right? Okay, cool, thank you. So let's say you pay the 12,000 cap. All right. So here's the first one. First, you get a capping award. So let's just say I'm gonna say that's 250 shares in the capping award, right? Second, you may choose to teach. You may choose to teach. So now you get an $8,000 teaching award. You may choose to give back. You may get an $8,000. This is stock. Giving back award. And if you actually hit elite, you get $16,000 in stock for hitting elite. By the way, you've not done any stock purchases. You've not done any attraction. You've not done any revenue share yet. If you just did this, you've already gotten to work at Real for free. Like, think about that for a second, right? Now you have the stock bonuses. Let's say you do 5 to 10% and you purchase. Real gives you 15 to 30% in bonuses. That's an extra. Now you attract, say I attract Sheila as my first one tier one partner. I only end up talking to her. Sheila and I did a deal. She was great on the other side of the transaction. She brought the buyer to my listing. I'm like, man, Sheila, it was so great to work with you. I think you love the idea of Real. Can we just talk about it? I just want to tell you my experience. Sheila and Sharran talk, and Sheila chooses to join. You bring on one person, you get the attraction award. You get an attraction award of shares, and you get revenue share, which is $4,000 or whatever else you get with it, right? The power of this is that without even doing anything, like we pay you to partner with us. And there's a reason why we're able to do this. The reason why we're able to do this is because of technology and efficiency. It's because we spend all the money in the cloud and cloud-based resources. We don't have local offices, but we turn and give back all of that back to you. Because 10 years ago, an agent could not afford to have their own tech stack. 10 years ago, you needed servers in the wall to build your own technology, to build your own lead generation, to build your own offices. It was really hard to do. Today, you can work from home, you can get your WeWork office, you can build your own tech stack for $600 a month. Instead of us doing that, like we have that, and I'll show you ideas around this, we want to give all that back to you so that you can reinvest in your business and we can be great partners. Okay, cool. I talked about two things. I talked about culture. I talked about the model. All right. Now I want to talk about the next part, which is our platform. I'll talk about our platform. The platform is a little different, right? There's tech, there are tools, and there's training. By the way, if you don't have tech is what we build, tools are what we partner with, and training is one Real how we actually provide that. A platform is incomplete if you just have just tools. So I'll give you an example. There was recently a press release of a big brokerage on the East Coast, right? And they had partnered with SkySlope. And they put out this release saying, we are blah, blah, blah brokerage, and we are the most technology forward, and our platform is SkySlope. Hey, SkySlope's a great platform. We used to actually use it. It's totally fine. But you can't plumb together pieces of tools and say you're a technology brokerage, right? So that's how we look at it. I want to make sure you saw that when a platform, you got tech, tools, and training overall. I want to run you through that very quickly, right? So I'm not going to go through all the tech and all the tools, but we use, some of you may be familiar, we use Workplace for communication. It's essentially like a company-wide Facebook, right? We have a great partnership with Chime for the CRM. Again, that's our tools. We're not going to go build something that is already really good out there. You get close to a 70 to 90% discount in Chime's retail pricing based on what you get from at Real, and you get all the Chime trainings. And we have an insane app called Reason. And let me actually kind of break down this app for you. In fact, I actually took 10 screenshots from my partner and CTO Pritesh Damani's presentation, and I want to run you through those because that's super important. But before I tell you this, I want to give you the vision for like, why are we building technology? Like, what is the future of Real? We are, by the way, we are so early in our growth that every year, close to 70 to 80% of our allocated budget is to build stuff and to acquire companies, as build and acquire, right? So we're just getting started in all of this. So whatever you see is going to actually get better and better in the future. So here's the thought process. You may not be able to see it, maybe kind of blurry. So totally cool. So here's our vision. Our vision is, if we care about the agent of today, we have to care about the consumer of tomorrow. And the consumer of tomorrow wants less and less friction in everything that they do. The consumer of tomorrow wants less and less friction in everything that they do. So our belief is that not only do we have a transactions platform, then we have the great brokerage layer piece. We acquired a title company and we acquired a mortgage company. Our goal is to build a vertically integrated experience for our agents for our clients, with our agents sitting in the middle. This is not an agent-centric thing that, like, I love it when people say we are an agent-centric company. That's like saying we are a car company that makes cars with wheels. What other kind of brokerage are you? Like, if you're not an agent-centric brokerage, like you're making cars without wheels, this is not the Jetsons. Like, we have to actually do things that are important, right? So the agent centricity is like, of course, it's duh, of course it is, right? But putting an agent in the center of the transaction so that an agent can control and influence all the pieces of the puzzle for the consumer. Because if you care about the agent today, you got to care about the consumer of tomorrow. And I'm showing you this because I want to tell you about, there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. I want to tell you about this app called Reason. Reason is our baseline transaction management app, and I think you will love it, which I think will be really good. All right, so here's the transaction. So let me give you some sneak peek around this stuff. I'm so excited to share this with you because it is so simple and so basic, but I know you spend a lot of your time doing this because I'm in the transaction with you day to day. So here's what it is, right? The first one, having your business in the palm of your hands. The last thing you want is to be like, oh, get me a dashboard, get me a spreadsheet, figure out how it all works, get me all of this. No, in the app, you have your bottom line for the year, your anniversary date, your cap status, your tracking, your commission, your revenue share, your contract, everything in one. It's always in the app, up to date at all times. Just having that, you have your business in the palm of your hands, which is really, really important from a transparency perspective. Number two, you can control commission splits, breakdowns, etc. However you do it, you're partnering with agents and things like that. Instead of telling the TC to do that for you, instead of emailing your broker to do that for you, you can control it in the app right there. And it's done because that shows the efficiency around this. The title company the attorneys know exactly how to do this stuff. How you run the transaction with ease is really, really powerful, whether you do it or your TC does it. Here's the next one. What if you have teams? If you have a team and you actually manage team payouts, manage referral partners, and so now emailing your TC, negotiating this, looking at the document, if you can just add it right in the app and it automatically adjusts, that's when it gets really good. So now it saves you time and have a lot of efficiency around this. Here's number four. We demand that our pizza gets here in 45 minutes. We demand that Domino's has a pizza tracker, but we don't have that in how we run a transaction. right? So we have the pizza tracker in a transaction that tells you exactly, we call it the road to success, what is coming up next, and it automatically updates because as you work on the transaction, it keeps checking it off. So you always know where your transactions are. Simple, but really powerful, saving your time and stress. You got to be able to upload documents, take pictures, upload documents from anywhere. Otherwise, now you're running to Starbucks, pulling up your laptop, finding this document, don't know where to scan it, scanning it, it looks janky, trying to put a PDF together, and then what? Right? There's no cost to any of this. This is our technology. There's no cost to this stuff. This is how this works, right? This is a part of what we offer to you. So there's no like extra cost to use our app or anything like that, right? You're going to have multiple transactions that happen all the time. So there's going to be a single dashboard to review all of these items, right? So that way you can be like, where's all my stuff at? Oh, I got this is accepted, that's accepted. So you have a single dashboard for all of it because we know you're busy. The last thing you want is get over stressed out by this stuff. And think about this. How many times, let me ask you guys this question. How many times have you emailed back and forth with your TC or someone on your team to actually update a CDA? Put a 0 in the chat, put a 0 if you've actually like gone back and forth for like 10, 15, 20 times updating a CDA. Like that is insane. That makes no sense, right? But that in essence, that's how you actually get paid. That's super important. Imagine you can just set up the transaction, click a button, and the CDA is automatically built. That's what happens, especially if you're in a state where it's a single check state, or you're in a state where you get paid at the table, or you're in a state where there's escrow. You need very clear instructions on all of these things. Can you actually instantly generate them on the fly because you control the money and you control the transaction? Of course, you got to be able to deposit checks. If you're in a single check state, you deposit a check and things like that. It doesn't happen for everybody, but simple things are important overall, right? Let me ask you these last two things. If you've ever gone back and forth with your broker on, hey, this document is missing, that document is missing. If you've ever gone back and forth with your broker, put a 1 in the chat. If you've ever gone back and forth with your broker, put 1 in the chat. Like, I will tell you right now, there's nothing more annoying for a broker and there's nothing more annoying for you because the broker suddenly has 400 emails and you're like, oh my God, Sharran, the broker's not getting back to me right now. Right? Instead, imagine that in a transaction, just like a chat, you're able to just instantly message them saying, hey, what's wrong with this document? So the entire log is kept in one place and you can do everything from a chat perspective. You don't have to create a new email in the subject line, 123 Main Street. Hey, Sharran, I want to get your attention to this. Did you look at it? Like it's a pain. You don't have to do that. You just instantly write in the pizza tracker, you write one note and the broker knows exactly what you're doing. It's really powerful when you do that, right? And most importantly, I'm sorry, sometimes all you need is a jiffy. Right? This is a joke, but like the ability to have rich text conversations, to say thank you, to have a great cultural experience. You may think this is not relevant, but when someone is like doing 70 file reviews and they get your thank you jiffy, like it makes them feel really good because they take care of you. It's a good thing, right? Now, not good, bad, or ugly. The idea is you want to think about all of these things to create extreme delight. Okay? Innovation is not an opportunity for us. Innovation is our responsibility. And you seeing these pieces are good because I want you to see like, oh, that was cool. I need to talk to a real agent about that to get more information about this. So I want to show you this one thing. This was a recent post and in our group. And this agent says, I love this, but funny story. I joined Real February 6th of 2021. A few of us started the state of Wisconsin. I left a company that had all their tech, I'm reading right here, all their tech worked out, but I could totally see the possibilities here. I knew you all would figure it out. We had faith in you and the staff, right? The interesting part here is this, we are not perfect. A lot of building is coming. You have an idea, we can do it. We don't depend on a third-party system. We can update stuff. So a lot of the growth is going to come from your feedback. It is not perfect day to day because we're growing, but since our vast majority of our budget is help to build and grow things, we got you, right? That's why I wanted to show you this. All right, last two things very quickly. The one real mastermind effect. The idea where your discussions are not like, oh, I joined Sharran at this office in Laguna Beach. I can't go to any other office meeting. Hey, I joined Sharran in this network, and so every other network is off limits to me. There are companies, networks. It's not good or bad. It's just we don't choose to be that way, and I respect them. I actually have a lot of friends who do great things out there. It's just we just think about the world differently, and if you align with that thinking, this may be of interest to you. All we're saying is all the network, all the knowledge, all the connectivity is siloed into either offices or small satellite offices or random Zoom calls or like some little network here or some little mastermind group there. How amazing would it be with all the training, all the knowledge is all part of one reel, right? Can you imagine that? That's what's powerful. So when I do a training webinar, I do it for everybody at Reel. When Tim Macy does a training webinar, he does it for everybody at Reel. When Katie Day does a training webinar, she does it for everybody at Reel. When Joe Herrera does a training webinar, he does it for everybody at Reel. Everybody, for everybody at Reel. That's the powerful thing about this, because you don't get shut out of just because you're not part of our network. We are one Reel. That's what's really, really exciting, right? So what does that mean overall? So we have tons of classes, tons of courses, all of that. And the way, what you get to do is you get to pick and choose. And there's, of course, replays to all of this stuff, right? Which is very, very, very cool. I talked about three things. I talked about culture, model, and platform. So I'm just going to ask you a very quick question before I go further. Out of the things that I talked about, culture, number one, model, number two, or platform, number three, which one kind of connected with you the most? 1, 2, or 3? Can you put 1, 2, or 3 in the chat for me? 1, 2, or 3? That would be really, really helpful, really fast, really quick. A lot of 1s and 2s, a lot of 1s and 2s, a bunch of 3s, a lot of 1s and 2s, 1s and 2s. I love the 1, 2, and 3, of course. I got a couple of 1.5s in there, 1.5s. You guys are like, I should be what do they call that? Like a auctioneer. Okay, I got awesome. Thank you guys so much. I have a couple more minutes. I want to talk to you about this big discussion very quickly. This big discussion is, how can you actually have growth versus culture? All right, and this will be my last part of it, growth versus culture. We believe so much that you should not have to have one for the other. We believe that you should not have to sacrifice culture for growth, and should not have to sacrifice growth for culture. That's just not okay. That's not fair. And we've been racking our brains on how to do this. And this week we announced this idea of something really special. We call it co-sponsored revenue share. As of up until today, Sharran can only have one sponsor. So Sheila is Sharran's sponsor. Sharran only has one sponsor. So, and if you only have one sponsor, what happens is, if I only have one sponsor, my most unfavorite word in real estate right now is downline. Nobody wants to be a part of anybody's downline. I'll tell you right now, right? It is network, organization, grid, community, right? But if you only have one sponsor, you get stuck in one downline. Here's the interesting part. You can now name 0 sponsors, which is totally fine if you don't have a connection. You can name 1 sponsor, or you can name 2 sponsors, right? And let me show you what naming 2 sponsors mean. This may come as a surprise to you. So if this was 2 trees, you have Amber's tree and Gary's tree. Here's the interesting part. In a traditional way, if someone joined, they're either limited to that network or that network because they can only have 1 sponsor. But now, what if Fiona and Kevin wanted to co-sponsor Lucy? Imagine the power of this. Now what happens is all of Kevin's network, all of Fiona's network both get paid. So now Fiona and Kevin are tier 1. Elaine and Jack are tier 2. Dorothy and Ian are tier 3. Claire and Harold are tier 4. Bonnie and Gary are tier 5. Now they split it. Now they split the revenue across the board. Now you start to see an insane grid. Now it gets insanely powerful because you start to see different people connect with each other. You may think, all right, Sharran, I got to give you this one last thing before we go. Imagine now, actually see if I can clear this page. Imagine now that you can make, we talk about tiers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiers. Imagine if you can have unlimited tiers. And let me tell you what I mean. Let's say Amber and Fiona wanted to co-sponsor Lucy. Here's what happens. Amber now has taken her 5th tier and reset her tier. Now Amber has Lucy on her tier 1, so she can now grow her tiers infinitely. Now it gets really, this is what we call a tier extender. You now are not limited to 5 tiers. You now are only limited to your imagination, which gets very, very fun. Co-sponsored revenue share completely changes because now the tiers don't, the networks no longer exist, and it's all about having a great grid and a great network overall to grow in an amazing, amazing way. All right. So last but not least, the two things that we're launching in 2023, I'm going to finish off with this. Number one is willable revenue share. If you're getting, call it $40,000 a month right now, if something unfortunate was to happen to me, Sharran, I can name a beneficiary. And if something happens to me, my beneficiary starts to get that revenue share as long as it continues to happen. Build a company today so that the company can take care of your family tomorrow, right? Here's number two. We just launched our title JVs. So you actually get what we call, this is our 9th revenue stream at Real. If you partner in with a title JV right now, you actually get paid on having a joint venture revenue stream with title. This year, we're launching the first draft of our consumer app, similar to what I shared with you. Somebody asked about Real Signature. We're actually building a DocuSign version of Real Signature, which is integrated into our app. It will be completely free to our agents, but it allows for more innovation. It's simple, but it also allows you to interact and make it all seamless. This year, we're also launching Real Benefits, which include healthcare, vision, dental, all those benefits as well, because now we have group purchasing power, so we get to do all of that. And last but not least, co-sponsor revenue share is live. You don't just have to choose 0 sponsor or 1 sponsor. You can choose 2 sponsors. All right. So I'm going to drop a 3 questions before I go. It is our hope that you would help us build a great company together today so that our company can take care of your family tomorrow. All right. Build a company, great company together today so we can take care of our family tomorrow. This is just our ethos. No matter where you are, no matter who you're connected with, I hope that some of these ideas allow you to grow your business. I hope that whether it's real or otherwise, some of these ideas create new ideas for you. I hope that some of these topics allow you to have second conversations with the other friends you know at Real. And that's super, super powerful. So all you're going to promise me is I touched on various topics, and I just want you to take those topics to your friend at Real or someone that you know and say, hey, listen, Sharran talked about that. What is that? Explain co-sponsored revenue share. Explain the stock benefits. Explain attraction awards. How does that work? Was my business a good fit for Real? So that we can have a much deeper conversation with you. All right. I appreciate you all so much. What I'm going to do